Hi,
Hi,
Purvaja.
Akshat. Hi.
Excellent. The audio is perfect. We just had
Oh,
a session,
great.
and so we'll just wait for a few people to join us. Okay.
Sure, sure. No, no, sorry. That was this fellow
Yeah.
who knocked it off.
Oh, so what's the
Yeah.
fellow's name? You need to
He's
introduce everybody.
Murphy. Yeah. Murphy. He's the only dog I've seen who likes to have a blanket on him even when it's like really hot outside. So
Oh, wow.
he wanted the blanket, so he knocked it off to get into the blanket. Yeah, that's how he
Yeah.
sleeps.
Oh,
If you
wow.
see,
Yeah, I can
the other
see
one
that.
is your Leo.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, Leo. Yes, please sleep. Don't disturb me. This one
Yeah.
is like super playful. So, yeah.
Right.
Okay, I have to place the camera in a way that Murphy doesn't knock it off again.
Okay.
Yeah. But is this
So,
okay? Like,
yeah, this is
or
fine.
do, yeah,
Okay.
just
I
a
think Murphy
minute.
moved again, or was that?
No, I think because I'm wearing the headphones and this super jazzy iOS devices have uh, don't
Right.
have the stand. I mean, yeah, it's just very
Nothing to
complicated.
stay on. No, that's okay. Technology
Yeah.
is a little complicated. So, but I think we're good to go, and it's
Great.
perfect. And thank you so much for being on air with us, Purvaja Kumar. I'll just apprise everybody who's listening to us that this is the third session of Mind at Ease, a mental health initiative started by Preeti Singh, and I'm your host, Akshat Sinha. And today we have with us Purvaja Kumar. Just a brief introduction. First of all, a very warm welcome, Purvaja.
Thank you.
So I'll just introduce you to the people so that they know who will be speaking to them. The topic for today and this session is managing pets' emotions in challenging times. And Purvaja Kumar, our expert, is founder of Humans of Canines, an initiative dedicated to improving health and well-being by strengthening human-dog bond. Perfect. Purvaja is an internationally certified canine trainer and behaviorist working closely with therapy dogs. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the introduction.
No, sir, humans of canines. First of all, please tell us what is the secret behind that.
Uh, okay, secret. Okay, one secret behind this is when, of course, I've grown up with dogs, always, not just dogs, but loved all animals and wanted to do something in that field. After realized it very late in life, after two masters working for 10 years, then I said no, but I still want to work with dogs. And that's how I got in touch with Shirin Merchant, who is my guru in dog training. I
Right.
got in touch with her and I went and got trained thinking that I would not be dealing with humans at all and I'm going to be talking only to dogs. But it was
Right.
exactly the opposite. When you have to get into the field where you have to bring in change, you have to interact a lot with humans. And
Right.
my whole initiative is, like you said, is to bring both dogs and humans together, and I have to bring in a lot of changes in humans to understand dogs. That's why I'm talking about humans of canines, so people who are with canines, which is everyone, because we have community dogs also. Yes,
It's
so that's how
interesting
they
how
meet.
you yeah, I'm sorry. So it's interesting how you put it that humans have to be made to understand how to interact with canines. And we do, the dogs have to be trained is one aspect that we look at. We forget that humans have to be trained as well.
Well, humans have to be trained first. I
Mhm.
think uh, any behavior change that happens in your pets is because of the environment that is created by humans. So, as long as you're aware of all of this, your responsibilities, and you understand your pet really well, your pet is going to be behaved. It's not about just the commands, it's just about
Right.
positive engagement with your dogs, which is extremely important.
I think most pets reflect the personality of their human that they are, interacting with.
Yes, totally. And I wouldn't disagree with this. And that's why the name also humans of canines, because whatever the canines display or is a reflection of who they are with, in what kind of an environment they have grown up. Um,
Right.
so I think you're right when you say that whatever your pets display or the personalities that they have is very similar to the kind of people that they are with.
Right. So the thing being that, in current situation where humans are stuck at home, I think for a lot of the pets, it must be, paradise where the person that they want to interact with and be with throughout the day is there throughout the day. But I think these times have also showcased how, pets and animals have faced a lot of harsh situations. People abandoning pets for various reasons, people having to migrate with them. What do you think are the major challenges that the pets are facing during these times?
While I would agree that they like humans in the house, I would also have certain reservations in having them 24/7, which
Right,
is what I think every human is also facing at the moment. We might be loving our partners, our parents, but then having them constantly 24/7 is something that often adds to the stress, because we ourselves are going through so much
overwhelming.
stress. Yeah, it's quite overwhelming, and even for the dogs. So I feel like yes, it's a great time to spend time with your dog, but there are certain challenges, like dogs are not getting their usual schedule. Like everyone had a timetable for their dogs where they would walk the
Right,
dog, feed the dog at a particular time, play with the dog at a particular time. All that schedule all of a sudden went for a toss. And dogs are used to a certain schedule. And as soon as the schedule goes for a toss, they go through a lot of stress. Like what is happening? What has changed suddenly? Also, yes, the environment is so different. It's quieter than usual, which is
right,
also new for a lot of dogs. Also, we as humans, which is very, very important, I feel, in the pet's life, we as humans are not calm at the moment. We ourselves are so
right,
stressed out. We watch the news and we immediately are discussing this. And dogs are constantly reading your body language. They're
right,
constantly noticing, okay, the pulse rate is going up, the heart rate is going up, you're sweating a lot more than usual because of the stress that you're going through, working
right,
from home, doing jhadu pocha, doing the utensils. So dogs are noticing all of this, and this might lead to certain behavioral changes within these dogs,
right,
which needs to be fixed. And yes, you're right when you say that there's a lot of abandonment happening. Um, I know animal welfare activists, including AWBI and even WHO, has clearly mentioned that dogs and cats don't spread COVID-19.
right,
Despite that, we see a rise in pet abandonment, and it's very sad that the reason probably is because they aren't able to take care of their pets on their own. They probably had like house helps doing that for them, or they are just so scared despite these notices being put up everywhere.
right,
It's quite sad. And yes, people are migrating with their dogs, which is so nice. I mean, they are a family member, and
right.
it's very sad when people go through this phase and instead of seeking help, they end up abandoning their dogs. I would really request through this platform that please don't abandon your dogs. In case you need any help, please contact a behaviorist or a trainer like me. We are all available for you at this moment.
Yeah, that's a very important thing. Who to reach out to, I mean, in all these situations. Uh, because so how would you define a pet's emotions? How can the person who is with I mean, whose pet it is, how does this individual kind of understand the emotions? Are we able to read the signals?
Yes, absolutely. So there are stress signals that a dog displays. There are several signals, and I would like to touch upon a few. Like, say, for example, your lip licking is a common behavior. So dogs do a sort of lick their say mouth repeatedly, and you notice that that is a behavior that is making the dog uncomfortable. So the dog is expressing it to you that there is a certain situation, I'm not comfortable right now in this situation. Also, whale eyes. It's called whale eyes because the dog makes his eyes really big. So if the dog is lying down and looks at someone coming and approaching him and makes big eyes, that means the dog is uncomfortable. Don't approach the dog at that point in time.
Right.
Scratching, randomly scratching. You know that the dog doesn't have ticks. You know there are no fleas, but still the dog is scratching. That means the dog is going through stress at that point in time. The other thing is boredom. You will notice a lot of boredom in these dogs if you're not spending quality time with your dogs. So
Right.
they are chewing stuff, randomly lying. They're chewing it for a very long time. They're trying to catch their tail. Chasing the tail is a sign of
Right.
boredom. So you will have to find ways to reduce the dog's stress. Please give your dog a space where the dog can retire during the day. Like, give ask your dog to like move to a space, say a room or his bed, to give him some chew toy, and just ask your dog to like go and chill, just like you would chill with Netflix. Do that for your dog as well.
Right. So I'm sure that very soon we'll have channels for our pets as well, like Netflix. Uh, but to see, once we pick up these emotions, I mean, and these emotions could be just anxiety or feeling stressed or feeling depressed, bored. Uh, is it similar to what happens in a human? I mean, because how we understand and then we address our own emotions and our own situations, mental, no, I won't really call them issues, but mental conditions.
Hmm.
Is it similar for pets? I mean, and what can we do to help them?
Uh, I so there are different ways in which it comes out, but we also have triggers. We might be social otherwise, but having a lot of people around all the time also stresses us out, just like it happens for dogs.
Right.
As simple as we want someone to stay away, we find ways to like communicate it in different ways, right? Just by like not offending the other person, but try and tell them, listen, we are not very comfortable, things like that.
Right.
I see a lot of posts of people liking or saying so cute when babies and dogs are posing together. That's like the worst thing, when people are not supervising their babies and dogs interacting, and the dog is constantly telling the baby, okay, back off, showing all the signs, but
Yeah.
we are not reading it. I think that's something common between mental health in humans and dogs, because we are not addressing either. We are not
Right.
addressing it properly, in the sense we know that we are right now going through stress, but what are we doing about it? We also kind of know that dogs probably will be going through stress right now, but what are we
Right.
doing about it? Like I mentioned, give your dog some space. It's extremely important. Remember that this lockdown, now extended so to the end of the month, has is so long that don't create dogs that are super clingy and always
Yeah.
next to you, because once the lockdown is over, there is something called separation anxiety that the dogs will start displaying once you start going out. Once you
Right.
go out, the dogs are going to whine, cry, do all sorts of things that are going to create more stress in his life. So try and give your dogs like a time off every day, like 10 to 15 minutes. What you do is you will start putting your dogs in a separate room while you're working, and increase it to at least 2 to 3 hours every day, so that the dog is used to you not being around. And only if you start doing it now, you will not face behavioral issues later that the dogs will display once the lockdown is over. So try and incorporate that for your dogs. I mean, you can begin
Right.
with that.
Yeah. So right, I mean, so this is one of the questions that I've been asking in all of my sessions prior to this as well, that once the lockdown, is ceases to exist, how
Yeah.
do we phase it out and how do we get back into the routine, and will it be, I mean, so how do we prepare for it? So I mean, you've kind of addressed it in terms of the
Yeah.
separation anxiety that would definitely be there, and for the pet. uh, one thing I really want to understand, so when we discussed about the emotions of a pet, understanding, acknowledging them, trying to give them space and creating that space, how much of uh, an intervention, how often do we require an intervention from a professional help, somebody who's a dog trainer or somebody who's I mean, someone like you, a specialist like you, how often do we require, or is this something that we can address ourselves also?
See, if you have a puppy at home, or if you've just got a dog, it is always advisable to consult a behaviorist or a trainer just to start understanding your dog better. I'm not saying that you require a professional all the time, but certainly to try and understand your dog a lot more, you would require help of a person who understands dog body language. So there is
Right.
no harm in generally consulting, just like we would want to go and open up to a therapist who would probably be
Right.
a better listener than our friends, or for that matter, our family, who's better equipped. Similarly, there is no harm in consulting behaviorists and trainers at this moment,
Right.
or even when you're facing any issue of that matter, as a general practice. So you don't have to wait for things to go bad for your dog to
Right.
start biting or barking and whining and having separation anxiety for you to call a trainer and consult a trainer. I would say, when you prepare a routine for your dog, consult a trainer at that point in time and see whether what you're doing is going in the right direction. And you can consult a trainer even for general interaction, just to find out whether you're interacting in a positive way with the dog or not. Things like that, small say small behavioral analysis that you can constantly do, that I did this and my dog really liked it, I felt that my dog really liked it, should I continue doing that? These questions can be raised even on a generic basis, which will create a sort of holistic sort of a behavioral advice or something like that, in a long run, not just specific to lockdown, but in general, enhance your relationship with your dog. So in my opinion, just like a therapist, everyone should consult a behaviorist.
So what you're saying is basically that the behaviorist can, kind of act like a sounding board also. So as to what you experience with your pet, you can kind of use that, you can express that and understand and analyze how it works. Uh, so one more thing that I would like to know, I mean, so like you were mentioning, in case of a puppy or a new dog has been brought into the family, and a lot of families and would have this might be their first pet, so I think those challenges are larger, right? I mean, so the family has to also be made to understand how to behave and understand, right? So does that come
Yes.
routinely in your therapy?
So, sorry, I lost you in the last bit.
So I think I would like to ask that as a professional, is this something that comes quite often to you, that a first time pet is being introduced into the house, and the entire house would, because it house has a family and people who will be walking in terms of the maids, the part time staff and people. So are your services being utilized for that interaction, that understanding of the humans as well?
Absolutely. I think first-time pet owners go through a lot more anxiety because they want to do their best for the dog, and they're not aware of a lot of things that probably people who've had dogs in the past are aware of. And I really appreciate when the first-time pet owners reach out to me, because it shows their willingness to invest in something that they have brought home. So I think first time pet owners, yes, to start off with, what I advise them is to know the breed. Every breed has its own requirements.
Right.
Every
Right.
breed has its own, say, personality, what to look forward to, what kind of activities can you do according to the breed. For example, I would say a Labrador or a Retriever should be taught to fetch, because that's what they were bred to do, retrieve. So
Right.
things like a beagle should be taught, say, scent work, because the beagles have great olfactory senses. I mean, they can sniff and find things easily. So you should enhance those qualities in a dog. So I do advise pet parents who are first time pet parents to first of all try and understand the breed that they've brought home,
Right.
begin with that, and then start with basic obedience, because no matter whether it's humans or dogs or any other species in one setup, I feel rules and regulations are extremely important for the for healthy coexistence. So
Right.
uh, that's one of the key things. And to also understand and enhance your relationship with your dog, if you spend quality time with your dog, where you're training your dog, where you're playing with your dog, you're feeding your dog in fun ways, you're basically mentally and physically stimulating, I mean, the dog's brain. What happens in that process is, your dog is constantly looking forward to spending time with you, looks up to you as a partner who will do fun stuff. So that's when the relationship or the bond grows. And not just first time pet parents, but I think it's important, even if you've had a dog for a long time, how to enhance the relationship. I think
Right.
pet parents should reach out and figure out things right now.
Yeah. I mean, currently we are in a situation where we are home most of the time. We're supposed to be locked down. Uh, I think the initial first 1 week or so, when we would have been indulgent with our pets, really indulging ourselves, playing with them a lot with them. Then you kind of get into a mode which has more anxiety towards your own career, towards your own life and things, and you become overwhelmed with the situation per se. The feeding habits, the walking habits, how do you maintain that with the pet? Do you reduce the food because the walks might not be as long? How does that work in these times?
Well, to start off with, like I mentioned, you have to prepare a timetable and you have to stick to it. Things
Right.
can't change. One of the key stressors or triggers is when there's a sudden change in the schedule, which happened for us also during the lockdown.
Right.
So if you suddenly you're playing a lot with your dog, and suddenly one day you say, no, not today, the dog is going through stress, and eventually what happens is this keeps building on, and the dog has minimal interaction with you. Also, you're going through stress displaying the same. So start with preparing a timetable where you give at least 15 to 20 minutes in the morning and 15 to 20 minutes in the evening to your dog. And when I say spending time with your dog, I mean exclusively spending time with your dog as a family
Right.
member, not you are not supposed to be on your phone at that time or watching Netflix and doing stiff stuff with your dog. No, exclusive 20 minutes with your dog in the morning and in the evening is going to enhance the relationship. And this could be a part of your process. I'm not saying leave everything and spend time with your dog. Like, yes, you have
Right.
to work and your dogs have to be more practical in that process, but 20
Right.
minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening, if that entails waking up a little bit early, please go ahead and do that for your pets. It's very, very important. Apart from that, give a lot of mentally enriching activities like sniffing treats, chewing things, and finding things from, say, a puzzle, dog puzzle. Use a lot of scatter feeding, something that I would want to display with one of my dogs also in this session. But try and make those interactions more constructive, so that you can channelize their energies effectively. You don't want a dog running around, jumping on your bed or pulling cushions and tearing things apart. You want a
Yeah.
dog that's tired physically and mentally and goes off to sleep. Not doesn't
Right.
go to sleep like just out of boredom.
Out of boredom.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
what
yeah,
kind of
make a
activities?
timetable.
Yeah. Yeah, so make the timetable. I think that goes for us as well. Making a timetable, have a work-life balance. Similarly, have a balance between your own time and your time with your pet and everything. But what kind of activities do you think that can be done during this period, or otherwise as well, to keep them engaged, how to bond with them? Like you were just suggesting about the this activity that you plan to do. Can you share some of these activities?
Sure. One is, of course, have like a 15-minute basic obedience session with your dog where you're teaching your dog to sit and stay, go down. Also, you can add like some fun activity. Keep like a goal for yourself. Okay, this week
Right.
I'm going to teach one fun trick to my dog. Say, open
Right.
the fridge and bring some beer or something like that. I don't know. Uh, you can do something fun with your dog which is beneficial to you also. Like I have taught Murphy and Leo to shut the door, so as soon as I get on my bed and I tell them go shut the door, and they'll do that for me. So
Wonderful.
try and make it fun for them. The other activity that you can do is the meals. You had asked me a question which I
Yeah.
forgot to address, is keep don't overfeed your dog right now. It's
Right.
very, very
Right.
important because you don't want the dog to fall sick at this moment, considering they're not getting enough walks at the moment. They're not
Right.
like they're walking probably for 5-10 minutes, and in some colonies even that much is not allowed. So I
Right.
would say play a lot of fetch with them, which is a great exercise. Teach them to probably once they know fetch, teach them to probably bring a newspaper,
Right.
bring say a mask for you, things like that. Innovate and be more creative with your dog. What you can do is with treats, and I wouldn't say treats, but then even food for that matter. What you can start doing is when you feed them twice, make it more interesting, make it more challenging for the dog so that they use their nose also. So
Right.
scatter feed, throw some treats around and ask them to go and search, sniff, and find the treats. The other thing you
Right.
can do is freeze their food and
Mhm.
topple it in their bowl. So what happens is when they have frozen food, it will take a longer time for
Longer
them to.
time.
So they'll use their paws. They'll use put some treats inside, say a cardboard box, a plastic bottle. Give it to them. Let them chew and then take out the treats on their own. So use
Right.
like innovative techniques of feeding them instead of giving it to them in the bowl and making it like that. That's it. That's how I'm going to get food. I'm already not going out for a walk. Don't make it
Hmm.
fun, make it interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that you can do with your dogs at the moment. I mean, you just need 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the evening, and you can continue doing the rest of the jhadu pocha and work from home. It shouldn't be a problem.
That's really nice. I think we're kind of, we planned on a 25-30 minutes slot, and we've already, stretched it.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to go, but I'm happy that we had this session today. I'm sure that all our viewers had a lot of information, facts and information to take from this as well. And they'll take it and use it in their day-to-day life with their pets. I'll be looking forward to having another session with you on Tuesday, uh, which is at
Yes.
4:30 p.m. We are doing it 4:30 p.m. Yeah. So anybody
Thank
who
you.
wants to be a part of that can, check on our Facebook and our Instagram and check out what other sessions we are planning to do. But thank you so much, Purvaja. I personally, I have a dog of my own, and so this is a lot of information directly for me as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thanks from the sleepy boys also. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yay.
yeah.
And the other one
Oh,
is
so,
inside the blanket.
yeah, Murphy and you. So
He's
yeah, we'll
somewhere
go back
there.
to them.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.